All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome to what I'd like to say your first class or your first journey, your first step that you're going to take to becoming a skilled WordPress developer. Welcome you all. It's 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 good to see you all here. A little thing I'd like to do before we get started is I'd like to do like a location check, quick location check in the comment chat box, just to be sure that you guys are following and hearing me properly. Just put your location in the chat box and where you are joining us from, so we can know where you are joining us from. Just quick location check. I will holler at you. I will make a so quick location check in the chat box. Just your name and where you're joining us from, so we can meet you. Um, this class is a very hands-on class. Um, it's a very, it's a class where interactive. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. If you're not clear about something, please also feel free to ask. Anybody? Okay, I see a John Lazarus from Niger State. John Lazarus, welcome. My name is John too, and so you're my namesake. So that's interesting to hear. So welcome, John Lazarus from Niger State. It's good to have you here. Others are not joining. All right, I see Abdul for Lagos State. Abdul Rauf Fuad, it's good to have you here. Welcome. Temi Tokman and joining from Kwara State. Good to also have you here. Um, Oasis from River State. Okay, welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to this session. I At the end of this session, I have a let's say I have a surprise for everyone for joining this session. So please make sure to stick around to the end of this session. All right. Okay. Once again, you're welcome to what I like to call your first step to becoming a skilled WordPress developer. This is the WordPress website development hands-on session. My name is John Ogota, and I am delighted to be your host for this session. I'm genuinely thrilled about this website because it's centered around the dynamic world of technology. Personally, tech is more than just a professional interest for me. It's a genuine passion. I'm someone that's truly passionate about tech. What really captivates me is the boundless potential for innovation that tech embodies. It's not merely gadgets and codes. It's about shaping the future, revolutionizing industries, um, and conquering people, connecting people across the globe. So welcome to this session. I think before we dive right in, let me just take a moment to introduce BNet Learning, our organization. So BNet Learning is a world-class learning platform that provides relevant knowledge to help professionals thrive in the highly competitive human capital markets. Our expert-led classes cover several certification courses like CBAB, that's the business analysis course, project management, that's the PMP course, SMC, Scrum Master Professional, Scrum Product Owner Professional, as well as hands-on training in courses like data analysis, Agile, BA hands-on, WordPress website development training, hands-on tools, and so much more. At Being Learning, we believe in mentoring and coaching individuals to ensure their success in their career path. So our website, www.bnetlearning.com, has more information about our offerings. We are excited to be part of your career journey. Um, yeah, so that being said, we are thrilled to have you all here with us today, and I look forward to an insightful session. I'm very sure because I know, uh, personally, I know the facilitator for today, Mr. Murray. He's going to, um, you're going to really get insights from what you're going to learn today. So feel free to use the chat box, like I said earlier, to post comments and ask questions. Um, and we will get to and try to answer all of the questions before the end of the session. So let me quickly introduce my boss. Mr. Muritala Uyolo. Uh, Muritala Uyolo is a highly skilled IT professional with over a decade of experience in the field. He holds a bachelor's degree in science as well as OCA and SCJP certifications. He is also a Sun certified Java programmer, a web developer, and a certified Oracle DBA associate with expertise in multiple advanced and emerging IT technologies such as DBMS and big data, um, software development, web development, and graphics UI UX designs. Mr. Murray is a versatile and experienced professional. He's dedicated and hardworking and has an exceptional track record in the industry. So we are privileged to have Mr. Murray Uriolo in as our guest speaker for today's session. Mr. Murray, thank you for being here.
Hi, John. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that introduction. Yeah, let me put it that way. I'm flattered. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so before you continue, I'd just like to say, please feel free to use the chat box to write whatever questions that you may have, and we'll get back to you. We'll definitely answer your questions. Please make it as interactive as possible. Um, we want this to be a hands-on session where you by the end of the session you would know that you really got value for your time here. So thank you all for coming, and I'll hand over to Mr. Murray to continue the session.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much, John. I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Murray,
guys. I won't be putting up my video uh, uh, because of the network issue here. So please kindly pardon me for that. Of course, you can see my DP. All right. So let's get to work. We have very few minutes, and I really want us to go through virtually everything that has to do with WordPress development. So I'll be sharing my screen, and yeah, please ask questions. Please. All right. So let me share my screen. Mm, Just a minute, please. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Okay, so you can. I'm on a Pantheon page. I'm sure you can see that. Okay, good. Yes. So now the first question we
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
ask
I can.
ourselves is why WordPress? Because when it comes to web design, there are quite a lot of tools, especially CMS, content management system, that we can use. Okay, so the first thing we need to quickly look at is why are we picking WordPress? Why not Joomla? Why not Wix? Several of them. Now we will quickly do a small research. Now let's look at the market content management system market share. Okay, for 2024, let's just see market share. Okay, so this one, when they say content management system, the CMS means content management system. All tools that we use to build websites are what we refer to as content management system. Okay, it's just a framework for building websites. Now, I'll just pull some few ones here. Okay, and I bet you can see my screen very well, please.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, now you can see for content management system top 10 for June 2022, WordPress is taking 64%, of the market share. Okay, that's WordPress. And this is something we can, I mean, look at ourselves. Now, this is for the content management system market share for 2014. As far back as 2014, WordPress is having like 60%, while other CMS are now battling with the remaining 40%. Okay, so that is just to justify the reason why we are picking um, WordPress for this particular session. Okay, this is another one. Here, WordPress is taking like 59%. We have Joomla, Drupal, Magento. There are quite a lot of them. There are very many. Okay, we have many content management systems. Okay, but when it comes to the market share, that is taking like, this is saying that almost 60% of all the websites you have globally, okay, is being powered by WordPress. So that is a justification for anybody that wants to learn website design. Your choice should be WordPress. Okay, so I won't go further than that. You can go and do a research at a later time. Now, the next thing we want to look at is that, okay, to do this, there are some basic things we'll be needing to be able to design websites. So the first thing we've been able to establish that we need to learn how to use WordPress. Okay, now the WordPress is a framework. There's also what we called page builders. Okay, website page builders. Okay, when you say website page builder, it's also a tool that we use in building, that we normally use within the framework, within the content management framework. And the best of all those page builders is Elementor. Okay, that's the best. You can make your research and all that. So that is why it's just trying to justify the reason why we're picking these two things, the WordPress and also Elementor. Now, the next thing we need to think of is that, okay, for you to have a website, there are basic things we need to have. We need to have a host, okay, and we need to have what is called a domain name. The domain name is the URL. For example, if I say www.micro, my God, microsoft.com, okay, or I say www.bnetlearning, okay, .com. Now, this is a domain name. Okay, the name we're going to be using to refer to that particular to the website, while the host speaks to where our files. Okay, when I say files, I'm talking about the graphic files, your media files, your text, all the files that you'll be needing to design a very lovely website. That's where the host will be. Okay, so the two things we're going to look at. So for anybody to be able to design a website conveniently, you should have a domain name and a host. Now, for this session, because this is a webinar, so what we're going to look at is that how can we get a free domain name and a free host, okay, to start out, because we're just starting out, okay, and you need a domain name and a host, because ideally, if you want to do that, you have to have like between the cheapest you can do, maybe like 25,000 or something to get a host and a domain name. Okay, but for this particular webinar, we are going to take you through the steps of how you can get a free domain name and a free host to start up your project. So there's a platform called Pantheon. Okay, Pantheon.io. You can load that down. Okay, if you go to Pantheon, you can get you can start out free, okay, to get a free domain name and also a free host. So please take note of that. Pantheon.io, go there, click on start free. Because of time, I won't be able to go through that steps, because of course it's a very simple and straightforward step. So after signing up, now I have an account. Okay, this is an account that I'm using. I've created an account on Pantheon, and it takes me to this dashboard, and you can see this is my email address, morulo@bnetlearning.com. Okay, so automatically you'll be given two sandbox sites. Okay, meaning that I can create two different websites on this account free. They're going to give me a domain name. Also, I'll be giving a host the space where the files will reside. Okay. Now, to now start out the project, I'm going to take you through all the steps, so that within some few minutes, I tell you, you can have a website all set up. looking very lovely and everything. Okay, so when you sign up, the next thing you need to do on the dashboard, just come here and click create new site. So if I click on this link, the Pantheon will load, the settings for me, and it's going to take me through the steps. Now it's asking me, what kind of site do you want to build? Is it a WordPress site? Is it a Drupal? Is it a front end or a custom upstream? Okay, now one beautiful thing about Pantheon is that as a software developer also, you can also deploy some of the applications on their platform, okay, for free. Okay, now I want to do a WordPress website, so I click on WordPress. So it's going to load the dashboard for me, and it's going to take me through the steps of how I'm going to build a WordPress website. Now it's asking for the name for this website that I want to build. Okay, so let me just say WP. What? I missed something now. Let me just say balloon. Ba balloon WP. That's the name of the site that I want. I just want to do a balloon WP. Now, the moment you put this name for your site, it can be anything. Okay, it can it can be your personal website. Okay, you can just do your name. Okay, for example, okay, let me even do my name. I want to do Murisala. Okay, so I'm doing Murisala now. Okay, now you can see automatically it's going to generate a URL for you. dev-murisala.pantheonsite.io. Now this is a free stuff that we're using, so definitely your URL, they use the URL to promote their service because it's coming to you for free. Am I communicating? So definitely that's why they are now attaching their website URL to it, pantheonsite.io. So this is the URL that you'll be using to access the site by the time you finish. Now the next thing we are going to do is choose a region for the site. Okay, they have their servers on this region: United States, EU, Australia, and Canada. This Pantheon platform organization, they have their servers, their web servers on this, so you can choose anyone. Of course, by default, of course, you want to pick, let me drag this so that I can see. By default, we want to pick United States, so I click continue. Okay, so okay, so it's loading my dashboard. Now it's deploying WordPress for me. Okay, it's deploying the content management system for me, which is WordPress. Okay, so after deploying that WordPress, then I will now start the installation, because first of all, it will deploy it on that space. Like I told you, the host speaks to where your content, your files will reside. Okay, so what is happening right now is that it's putting that particular WordPress setup file in that space for me. Okay, so after putting it there, then I will now go ahead with the installation. Now, if you are going through the option of you going to a service provider, you pay for the host and you pay for the domain, and they make all these things available for you. Of course, on some of these service provider, they can deploy your WordPress for you automatically, and there are some also that you'll have to do it by yourself. It's a very straightforward thing. You're going to see the steps of installing the WordPress. So first of all is deploying this WordPress setup on the host that has been provided for us here on this Pantheon. So for those of us that are just joining us, so what we're discussing is setting up a WordPress website, okay, on a free platform. Okay, like I said, Pantheon is one of the free platforms. There's another one, though this Pantheon is much more stable. There's also a free host, free hosting rather. There's free hosting, okay, that you can also do. You click on this, okay, so you can also host without cost, okay. But of course, like I said, Pantheon is a lot more stable than the free host. That's why I prefer using Pantheon. But of course, like I said, this is free. Okay, so for the fact that it's free, then you cannot have the URL the way you want it. It has to be in their own way. It's just a way of trying to promote their business. So it takes some time because the setup for the WordPress is, somehow a huge file, so it needs to deploy this on the hosting account for us. Okay, so um, then apart from this particular one, there are so many other free hosting platforms that you can leverage on. Okay, that will give us free. But the thing is that for this free hosting platform, you cannot have a customized URL. Okay, for example, my name is Rosala and I want to have a custom email, I mean, website for myself. I cannot do www.nurisala.com. If I want to do that, I have to go to this premium platforms to get it. So here is saying it has completed. Now visit your Pantheon site dashboard. So after this, you have to click on this link. Okay, so it has finished deploying that the setup for us. So here you come here. Now here is saying you have two options. When you get to this platform, you have the option to visit the development site or you go to your site admin. Okay, so what do we have here? If you click on development site, it will load this for you to start the installation. Okay, it's going to load this for you to start the installation. So let me drag this. So we are starting the WordPress installation as it were. So what language? English language. Click continue. Now, what is the site title? So like I said, I want to use this as my personal website. So I put Moritala. Okay, so for username, I can say, I'm not too good at keeping some of these things. So I most of the time try to play safe. So let me just say my username will be admin. Okay, and the password. Okay, now let me use this as a password because if I put any password I don't remember, that would be disastrous. So I'm going to use, of course, the automatically generated password for me. Okay, so this is my username. So let me just open the notepad and put it there so that I won't forget this. Excuse me. Okay, so I have admin, and let me just copy this and paste it there. I have this. Okay, so let's move email. Um, I've been com. Okay, so you put your email there. Then now look at this option. It's saying search engine visibility. Now it's advisable that we should discourage search engine for indexing this site because this is just a sandbox. Okay, we are just using it for practice. So we should not allow search engine to start indexing. What do you understand by indexing? The moment you have a site on the internet, automatically the search engines that we have like Google, the Bing, Yahoo search, and so many search engines, they will start indexing. Indexing means that they are trying to place in such a way that by the time you come back to check for that whatever, it's like catching it into their memory. So when next you come, the time with which it's going to take to retrieve such the URL is not going to be much, it's not going to be more than the initial whatever. So it'll be a little time for you to retrieve that because it has already catch it in the memory, so you can just pick it up. So here is not advisable to do this. So we have to check this, check it to discourage search engine from indexing it because it's just a site for as a sample site that we're just doing. So after all that, then you now click install WordPress. So now the WordPress has been installed successfully. You can see WordPress has been installed. Thank you and enjoy. That's all. Okay, that's the first thing that is very straightforward. Okay, so now you remember the focus of this particular webinar is for you to be able to build WordPress using Elementor Page Builder. Because the Elementor I mentioned the other time is the best page builder you have in the world right now. It's so simple, so flexible, and one unique thing with Elementor is that it's not vulnerable to malware, to attack, unlike some of the other page builders that we have. Okay, you hardly see an Elementor website being, a victim to hacking. Of course, I'm not saying it's not good, but the chances is very, very small. So, and very flexible. you can use it to do virtually everything. Okay, when it comes to as far as website design is concerned. So here I need to log in. You can see my username. This is my username and my password. I've said it somewhere. So I click on login. So here I put the username here. Then I go to my where I put this, pick my password. Here, let me remember it. If I forget. Okay, so now I want to log in. Log into where? I'm logging into the back end. Now, for a typical website, you're going to have the front end and the back end. Okay, the front end is what will be visible to the users of your website. Okay, so here on Be Learning website, this is the front end, okay, where people will have access to. People will come here, they will have access to all those things, they can see it and all that. Now, all these things that you're seeing here, how is it done? Where was the plan? How was it arranged and all that? That now speaks to the back end, okay? The back end is where we plan what is going to be on top, what you want your menu to be. We call this part hero section, where you want your hero section to be, the color you want, everything, the images and all that. Okay, all those things will be done at the back end. Okay, as it were, I can be working on the back end of this site, and the site is not going you're not going to know that I'm working on the back end. Okay, from the back end I can change so many things. That's why it's so seamless. Okay, and it's multiplexing. Okay, so now back to here. So this is our back end, okay, where I'll be doing the arrangement of the content, the images, the pictures, videos, everything. I'll be working with them here. Then also, now let me show you what the front end of this website will look like for now. So I go to, you'll see this icon, you can see this home icon. Okay, this home icon here, you see a link that says visit site. So you can just right click on this and click open a new tab. So it's going to open this on a new tab for us. So here, this is what the front end, you can see the URL generated for me. I told you, because we're using a free platform, that's why it's appending this Pantheon whatever to the URL. So this is my website URL. Okay, so the first time I deploy a WordPress, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have something like this automatically. Okay, now what makes you a WordPress developer, or how do you become a developer? It's not just to deploy, to install the setup and everything is giving you. Now, how do you work on it? How do you tweak it to something that you want and all that, to make it look so attractive and everything? Okay, so this is my back end. This is the front end. Now, for the back end, let me quickly walk you through the back end. So this is the back end. We have the dashboard. Okay, we have the post, we have media, we have pages, comments, and all that. Okay, now the first thing we need to um, learn here from our backend is, our first point of call is going to be the appearance, because that is what speaks to what the users will see, at the front end. Okay, so from the appearance, you go to your themes. So I click on themes. So themes speaks to the design framework, okay, for your WordPress design. So for the theme here, we have, by default, at the point of installing the WordPress website, you have 14 themes, okay, but only one of them will be active at a particular point in time. So this is the one that is active. You can see this active is saying 2024. Please, if you have any question, kindly raise up your hand, or rather call my attention to it so that I can, So now here is saying that I have 14 themes here. These are different design layouts and all that, very lovely, nice design with layout that has been designed by WordPress, and they are putting it here. Why are they giving us this template to work with? Yeah, some people are, their profession is to develop themes, design, lovely layouts and some other things that you can, get started with. Okay, so this naturally will come with your installation. Okay, now, so by default, you always have an active one here, where others will, but of course, they are capable, you can activate others. Now, one interesting thing about this one is, you can see the active is reading 2024. Now, something with WordPress is that for every year, they have a default design template for the year. So for the year 2024, this is their design. This is what they did for 2011. This is 2015, 2014, 2019, 2017. Okay, this is the one we used last year, 2023. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to activate the design layout for 2023. I'll just come here, come to that particular 2023. I'll click on this button, activate. If I activate it, if you go to the active now, you can see active is now 2023, not 2024. Okay, it's 2023. Now, if I go to my front end and I refresh this page now, you see that the layout will change. If I refresh this, you can see this is what they use for 2023. Okay, this is the design layout for 2023. Okay, so for example, this is 2017. Let's say I like this 2017. I can just click activate. Okay, 2017 becomes active. I go to my front end, I refresh. Okay, and I have 2017 design template. Okay, so that's why I said that's the first point of call. That's the first thing we need to look at. Now, the next thing we want to work on is that, okay, now in a situation whereby I don't want to use WordPress default themes, okay, I want to bring something outside of WordPress, something from a third party, because these are WordPress proprietary. I need something from third party. Okay, now how do I do that? I click on add new theme. When you click on add new theme, it's going to give you a list of thousands of different design layouts from third parties, from different vendors and all that are free to use. Okay, these are thousands. You can see here, this is reading 6,199. Okay, templates that you can work with. Very lovely design, well crafted, very attractive and all that. All you need to do is deploy it and you start tweaking it to something you want. If you scroll down, you're going to see very lovely design, layouts and all that. Now, what are we recommending? Based on our experience with WordPress, and all that, we will be recommending this particular one, Astra. It's one of the top 10 themes, of all time as far as WordPress is concerned. In fact, in most cases, it's always the leading because of its flexibility, and of course, you're going to see what I mean by this. And also, this is also very compatible with Elementor Page Builder, because just as we have so many content management systems, we also have quite a lot of page builders, okay, which Elementor is one of them. So for this particular webinar, we're going to install Astra as our theme, as our template for this webinar. So I'll come here, just click on install. Okay, so it's installing it and it has installed. Then after the installation, I need to activate it. So I click on activate. Okay, so you can see the active theme now is what? Astra. You can see it now is Astra. Now, the moment you install Astra, Astra normally comes with starter templates. Okay, now they said get started with ready-made templates. Building a website doesn't have to be hard. With Astra starter templates, you can easily import ready-made designs and start building your dream website in just a few minutes. That is very correct. Okay, so after activating this Astra, the next thing we want to do is we go to install starter template. So I click on this, so it's activating it. Like I said, if you have any question, please let me know. Now here, this is where we are. Now it's saying, how would you like to build a website? Do you want classic starter template or AI website builder? Of course, let's go with base. So click on build with templates. Okay, so I click on this. Now this is where the page builder that I've been referring to comes to light. For example, here Astra is giving us 3 different page builders that we can pick from. We have the blog editor, which is the default page builder for WordPress. Blog editor is the default page builder for WordPress. Okay, then we have the Elementor that we're going to use, and we have Beaver Builder. Okay, it's also a very powerful page builder. Like I said, we have close to almost 100 page builders. Okay, now so I'm going to click Elementor. Now it's now saying what type of website are you building. Okay, these are the starter templates put in different categories. Is your project a business related project? You can pick any of these options here. Or is it local business? Is it personal care? Is it professional? Is it personal website? Is it community? Okay, so you have all these here. If you scroll down also, you're going to see different website template with different layouts, lovely designs, and some other, so many. There are quite a lot of, we have some of them are premium that they are selling, and also quite a lot of them are free. Okay, so now by virtue of this particular session, I'm trying to create a site for myself, a personal website. So I come here, personal website. So I click on personal website. So when I click on personal website, it's going to filter the templates to bring out templates that are personal website oriented templates. Okay, so these are the ones that we have here. Okay, so you can see them list here. So I'm going to, of course, you can have a preview of that particular whatever that you want. Okay, so I'm picking this particular one, personal. So you just click on the one that you want, okay, and it's going to load it for you. So that is the one we're going to quickly build. You don't have much time. So this is a template. You can see I'm trying to, of course, as a web developer, I'm trying to do a template for myself, a website for myself. So I pick this template. Okay, so you're having web developer, the name, image, and everything. So I'm going to deploy this. Then I will now tweak it to something that will fit into what I want. So, but of course, these are all the things that comes with this. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is come here. So here, if you have a logo already, okay, if you have a logo already, you can upload your logo here. But if you don't have a logo, you can always do that at a later time. Okay, so now the next thing is let's just keep and continue. That means I'll put the logo later. Now we have the color theme. Okay, so this is a color theme depending on your color as a brand, your brand color. Okay, so if I'm picking this blue, okay, so automatically it is going to change all the artifacts here to blue. Okay, if I pick green, everything will change to green. If I pick any other color, so I'm picking blue. Okay, then the next thing is font style. Okay, here this one, the default font style here is Playfair and Open Sans. Okay, most of the time website will always come with at least two font styles, okay, so that your headings will have a particular font style, while the content will have another font style. So you can change it. I can pick Popin and Lato. I can pick Montserrat. So they are, as you are clicking on it, you can see it's changing the font style that you have there. As you are clicking on them, it's changing them. So let me go with Montserrat and Lato. So I'm going with this one. So I click continue. Okay, now, okay, just one last step. Okay, now tell us a little bit about yourself. Retailer, your work mail, you put your work mail. Okay, it can be your Gmail, can be anything. Now, you always want to start as a beginner. Just pick I'm a beginner and I'm building a website for myself. Okay, now for the advanced option, all these things based on the template that you pick, okay, all these options need to be imported and installed. Okay, so you have to check all these things, or else you're not going to get the template exactly the way you want it. Okay, so you have to leave all these things. And the next thing, you just click submit and build my site. So I click on this. So it's saying we are building a website, installing the required theme, the plugins, the form, everything will be installed automatically for you. And within a few minutes, you have your website there. So like I mentioned the other time, that's the first phase. That's the second phase. The first thing is set up your Pantheon, install WordPress. The second one is install a starter template. Get a starter template. You look through, you don't have to rush it. It's because of the time that we have that I'm a bit fast. But of course, take your time to look at different design layouts before you pick. Now it's saying congratulations, your website is ready and it took just 30 seconds to build. So you can now click view your website. So clicking on view your website, you can see what I have. I have a website. You can see this. Okay, see, everything will come out the way you see it on the template. Now the last face of this, which I'll just take like few minutes to, because our time is fast spent. Now, how do we tweak this? How do I customize this to reflect myself, Muritala, as a person? Because this one is just showing one Natalie Watson and all that. Okay. Now, to do this, okay, the best thing to start with is you start with your Elementor. Now, you'll be wondering, at what point does Elementor come into play? You know, remember we pick Elementor when we're speaking to the page builder. Okay, so the next thing we can just do here, just come here, edit with Elementor, right click on it and open it on a new tab. So it's going to open it on a new tab for us, and it's going to load this site for us in an Elementor editor. Okay, Elementor editor, where I can now start changing, editing, tweaking, and all that. So it's loading it, and it's going to load it for me. It's going to make it editable so that I can just take some few things out. Now you're going to have something like this. So just click, sorry, just click, let me reduce my screen size. Okay, so I click continue. Okay, so here I am. This is Elementor editor. Okay, it's so simple, and it's made up of what? Containers, columns, and rows. Containers, columns, and rows. It's so easy. Now, the first thing we need to do here is that we need to see the structure of this particular website, because the structure is what will now give us idea with regards to how to navigate and all that. How do we pull out the structure? You come here. Please, can you see my screen? We have what is called navigator. Can you see navigator here? Just click on navigator. This is your navigator. Now you can see that this template is actually made up of container being layered over one another. Container, 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 container. Okay, so the whole site is made up of what? Container. So the container is just what? It's just a space, a layout where you can put content, and the content we put are our elements. Okay, so the first container is this one. This is the first container. If I click on the second one, it will scroll down to that, to the second one. Okay, this is the second one. If I click on the third container, this is the third container. Click on the fourth container. So now you start tweaking by taking the container one after the other. So the first one, let's drop it down. When we drop it down, we have containers within container. Okay, now the essence of arranging all this content in container is just like when you want to build a house. Okay, you have a plan. You know, most of the time you will have it, the layout of the I mean, on the plan you have where the rooms will be, you know, spelled out, where you need to have a sitting room, where you need to have a kitchen, where you need to have your lobby and all that, everything. So they are using the containers are like blocks, okay, to create those spaces within the large compound. Okay, you're gonna have a compound, then we have a building within the compound. So this first container is like the compound, then we have this container here. This one speaks to what we have here. You can see when I click on it, it's showing me here. This is where our social media icons are placed. Okay, so if I drop this down, you can see icon list. Okay, so this is the social media icon. For example, if I want to take out something from here, I can just delete this. I want to take this B out. I take it out. I remove it. If I want to add, let's say I want to have add X icon to this. Okay, so I need to come here, just go to the icon library, okay, and type Twitter. Okay, so and I pick this icon. Okay, so when I pick this icon, automatically, sorry. Okay, uh, okay, so Twitter. Okay, so I pick this. My screen is really obstructing. So I click this and I click insert. Okay, so you can see I have Twitter here. Okay, and it's having a text list item. So of course I don't need the text there. So you just take out this text and you have your icon. Okay, so that's for this first container. Now the second container speaks to where you have your title. Okay, you have the title and you have some other content there. So let's drop down the second container. You have the heading. This is the heading. Okay, then we have the text editor. This is the text editor, and you have the button. This is the button. So if I want to start working on it, I go to the heading. Okay, you can see the heading, element here. So by the side, you have your property panel by the side. The title. So I'm web developer Natalie Watson. So let me change this to So I change this to this. I'm a web developer, you know. So now you can see that it's actually too big and I need to reduce the size, the space and everything because it's kind of choking. Now you go to the next tab after your content tab. The content tab is what speaks to the content, while the style is where you work with the font size and everything. So here under the title, the text color, I can change my text color here. Let's say I want to make it red. Okay, I change my text color here. Then for the typography speaks to so many things, the size, the weight, the style and everything. So here, let me reduce the size here. So let me put it at something 50. Okay, then for the style, I can make it italics or make it normal. Okay, so let me just leave it this way. Then the next thing is I have some content here. That's the first one I work on is the heading. The next thing is text editor. So you come to your text editor, you can put your content here. Okay, just place your content there. Then after that, you have your button. Okay, this is the button. You can see the text, the label for the button is learn more. I can put read more. Okay, then the link, I can make a link. Let's say I want it to link www.bnetlearning.com. Okay, so also then you have, if I want to add icon to this button, I can also add some icon to the button. I can go to my icon library. Let's say I want to add this arrow icon here. So I click insert. Okay, you can see the arrow icon here. Okay, so now also I can go to style and work on the button. Okay, let's say the button background color, I want to change it. Okay, so I can change it to red or this. Maybe something similar to something that I have here. Okay, so then the text color also, you can come here and make your text color. Okay, so with that, let's say this is okay. I don't like this. Let me take. Okay, if there's anything you don't like, you don't want it to be part of the whatever, for example, this text, whatever here, I don't need it. You can delete it, okay? You can delete it. Just come here and click delete. Okay, so I've deleted that particular whatever. And if I, maybe after deleting, I realize that, I will need that text, whatever. Then you come to your element and pick your text editor. Click on it, hold it down and drag it just below your title. Okay, drop it there and you have it back. Okay, and also you can rearrange also from here. For example, if I want the button to be on top, just click on the button and drag it to the top here. Okay, my button will automatically come to the top. Okay, then also if I want to change the image, of course, let's say I have the image somewhere, just click on the image, you come to the property panel, click on your image to go and pick another image. Automatically it's going to take you to the media library. Okay, so let's say I want to change the image to this. I don't like this.
Mr. Marie, we contact well time.
Okay,
Just
sorry. So I changed the image today. So I
just
think because of time, so like I said, you can see that it's very straightforward. Within few minutes, I've been able to put some few things together. So I am very
and
optimistic that if you're able to put some few hours into this, I tell you, you will increase your value drastically. And of course, with this hard time that we have, definitely, I'm sure you'll be able to make some extra uh, uh, um, fun for yourself. So thank you very much for your time. It's been wonderful having you guys around. Thank you so much. Yeah, over to you, John.
thank you so much, Mr. Marie. Yeah, we do have a couple of questions in the comments, so that you can just
Okay.
quickly answer them. But before then, I just want to say that Mr. Murray is a person, personally, I know him, is someone that likes to really, really explain something. He's going to explain something to the point where you fully understand. I know I've been in a couple of classes, I've watched some videos where he's teaching, and I can tell you for a fact that you are not going to leave there until you fully understand whatever it is that you came from. So, um, definitely, quickly before you answer your question, I just want to say that because you came for this webinar, we are running a promo right now for the full course. This is just the iceberg. You're not going to learn everything here. This is basically the tip of the iceberg. So if you want to enroll for the full course, BNet Learning is giving a massive 50% discount for the price. So it's like a 50% slash in celebration of um, Black History Month, which is this month, February. So 50% discount for everyone that has come to this webinar that wants to enroll for the full course. I'm telling you, is going to be more than what you already seen here. It's going to be more detailed. You're going to be hands-on. It's going to be practical. You're going to get the full knowledge, and you won't live here with. And you know, Mr. Murray, you can't live here without fully understanding what you already came here for. So if you are interested in joining that class, or you just want to give feedback on the session that's been had, I'm going to paste a form in the comment section. Please endeavor to fill the form, and we'll get back to you. So please fill the form. All right. Before I proceed, there's a question here in the comments from John Lazarus. He said, if you have used a free hosting domain name to launch the site, how do you move it to a paid plan where you can have a custom website address?
Okay, thank you very much, John, for that question. Yeah, that's a very simple one. Now, there are what we call plugins. Okay, plugins are third-party applications that we normally, deploy on WordPress to make the job quite very, very easy to do. Okay, so there's a plugin that we normally use to achieve that. Now, if I go to the backend, okay, now how do you bring in, like I said, they are third party applications, okay, that are, some are free, some are premium, okay. So for, if you want to migrate whatever you have on a free host to your premium host, okay, now the simple thing is just come to your plugins, you click on add new plugin. Okay, when you get to add new plugin, there's what we call all in one migration tool. Okay, this is one all-in-one WP migration. You can see this particular plugin is having more than 5 million active installations, okay, with more than 7,000 over 4-star ratings. Okay, so it's a very powerful, of course, these are some of the things we use to identify reliable plugins. Okay, look at number of installations and all that. Of course, you do this on our Play Stores and all that. So here you just need to install this. With this one, you can look at what they are saying is, okay, they are saying you can move, transfer, copy, migrate, and back up a site with one click. So with just one click, it's going to compress all your content on your free whatever. Then you go to your premium platform and you deploy it there. So that's the answer. John?
Thank you very much for that. Also have another question here. Or quickly, let's take question from, I think, Funsho Francis. Your hands are up. I don't know if you have a question. Please drop it in the chat box. The form is in chat box too. Yeah, thank you very much. Second question from John Lazarus is, if you have used sorry, what platform was used to build the website builder? It was amazing to me.
Okay. Now, the website builder, that is the Elementor. In fact, let me tell you, all the website builders, the content management system and all that, the underlying programming language that they use is PHP. Okay, PHP is the language that they use to develop all these applications. They are all applications, okay? The, the page builder itself, the content management system, the WordPress itself, they are all applications. Okay, yeah, applications that are developed using PHP. So to some extent, maybe at some very advanced level, if you want to go to the back end and start tweaking and all that, because at times you might find yourself maybe hooked up, or with your knowledge in PHP, you can also still go to your back end and yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Tamuri. Once again, I'm saying that because you have been a part of this webinar, we are offering you or we are giving you a massive 50% discount off the upcoming bootcamp. So please, if you that you want to take advantage of that, please fill in the form. The form is in the chat box. Also, it's also a feedback form, so please fill it to give us feedback on how the webinar was, what you thought. It's just going to take 1 minute. It's just 1 minute. So please, please, everybody here, please fill in the form. It's in the chat box. Um, Thank you very much, Mr. Mori. This was an insightful session. I learned a lot, and I know that it is just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more in store for you. The main boot camp, which is happening later this month, on the 17th. So it promises to be a lot more. So please fill in the form. It's not going to take less than 1 minute. So it promises to be a lot more. This is the tip of the iceberg. Mr. Bui is going to touch on a lot more areas that we haven't even covered here at all. So by the end of this, I promise you, you're going to be a WordPress wizard. Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Mori. Thank you. This was an insightful session. Loved it. I'd like to thank every one of you for coming here today. I appreciate your coming. I appreciate your attendance, and I hope to see you in the class when it eventually starts. Once you fill in the form, our training advisor will reach out to you with all of the details of the course. So thank you once again. Thank you, Mr. Murray. Thank you to everyone for coming, and have a nice day.
So, I know, sorry, John. Sorry, guys. The UI UX guys, please